Welcome to a special holiday edition of Whiteboard Weather. We have a whiteboard, and of course, we have some weather, so let's get into it. Okay, so I haven't touched this board since last week. It feels like I'm doing a magic trick, like I'm gonna do some certain things. But if you're unfamiliar, last week we looked at different models based on what we expect Christmas to be like. Thanksgiving, I did the first one. I said Thanksgiving was actually 40 degrees and 32, so I wanted to compare. Average Christmas, a high of 38, low of 24. Now, obviously, Christmas hasn't had already. As you're watching this, it's Christmas Eve, maybe Christmas Day. Our current forecast for Christmas is a low around 25 and a high of 41. So let's see which models did the best. So the last time the Australian and the Norwegian did pretty good, and it was the only one in the 40s out of all of these. That includes the GFS, the Canadian, the European, and the NBM, we call the blend of models. So I have to give this one, the Australian model did pretty good. And then for the low temperature, the Euro nailed it. So looks like Australia and the European model did pretty much exactly correct there for the low. And the Canadian always biases cold. It's kind of weird how the Canadian biases cold. It's just a thing that happens. And then the blend of models, you could see, was about 5 degrees too cold for the high and about 3 degrees too cold for the low. So the blend of models did pretty good as well. Now we are talking about old models. Let's talk about what Christmas is going to be like. Let's bring out the tree, and obviously let's flip the whiteboard. Okay, so I have a Christmas tree, and I wanted to make things a little weather themed. So I have some snowflakes. That's on most trees, and I have little lightning bolts here and little ornaments. I think I did a good enough job. In fact, I missed out on one of these here, so I'll just like that. I don't have a yellow marker just yet. A little star on top. I have a light green marker. So I want to first update our snow ruler here. If you're unfamiliar, we have a snow ruler that we're building all the way up. Normal for a season of snowfall is 40 inches. It only goes up to 32. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it if we get above 32. But we got 1.6 inches in the WNEP backyard on Tuesday. So we're going to put a little marker right about here, in between 14 and 16, and we're going to put today's date, which is the 23rd. So we're almost, halfway up the board here, and not slowing down anytime soon because there's actually a chance for snow later in the week. But now let's get into the presents that we're getting here for Christmas, as I have a bunch of markers in my hand. So I want to show what Santa has given us, as if Santa controls the weather, but what Santa has gotten us over previous years. So last year and years prior, it's cold, but I want to talk about extreme. So the warmest Christmas ever was 64 degrees back in 2020. That day was actually, it snowed that day, 1 inch. It was a morning high temperature, and then it cooled throughout the day, and then it snowed that day. The coolest temperature on record for Thanksgiving. This is for the Scranton area. I always forget to mention this is for the Scranton area. Some people that watch are like, what is this for? It's for Scranton. The coldest ever was -7 back in 1909. But that's when Santa was going out. We're talking about this year, it's going to be in the 20s. Imagine being -7 with Santa and Rudolph. That's why he gets paid the big bucks. Actually, he doesn't get paid. And for a high temperature, 4 degrees for one Christmas afternoon. So those are the two records for the coldest. The snowiest Christmas on record was back in, I think it was 1980. 3.8 inches of snow. That being the record. We may get a couple flurries in the morning on Christmas, but nothing accumulating. And you would think that the record on Christmas would be a little bit more, but 3.8 is the record back in 1980. So, 1909 rather. So that was a cold one and a snowy one, 1909. And then finally, we're talking about white Christmas. So it'll be a coating to about 1 inch in some spots, maybe a little bit higher in the Northeast. But the highest snow has ever been on the ground, recorded history since 1900. One time there was 12 inches of snow depth on Christmas. That was back in 1969, which is the year we landed on the moon. So maybe you have to land on the moon once again in order to get a good amount of snow depth. So there's the presents that we've gotten in years past, and this year again, the high of 40, low of 25, about seasonal, what we'd expect for Christmas. And you see this map right here. This is the final segment I want to get into. This is a map of Pennsylvania, and we've been talking about snow, the white stuff. I want to show you across the Keystone State what areas have received the most snow versus normal. And I have a cheat sheet here on the side because I didn't memorize all of these, but we have a little cheat sheet here. But I'll try not to use it. Okay, so for the Scranton area, we just mentioned earlier, I'll put all these markers here. We just mentioned Scranton, which is just about here, give or take, 14.8 inches. Normal for Scranton is 9 inches, so we're about 5 inches, 5.5 inches above normal. Next, I want to talk about the Poconos. The Poconos, unfortunately, doesn't have accurate measurements this year. It's been a bit tricky, so fortunately, I don't have an accurate measurement for the Poconos, but I do have one for Allentown. Allentown so far this year, I want to check this. I think it's 6.4. 6.4, so yeah, 6.4. See, I got it memorized. I should have memorized a little bit more. 6.4